Hey Vikings fans! The saga surrounding Sam Darnold's future is heating up, and the team's decision could completely reshape the course of next season. The big question is, will the Vikings go all in to keep Darnold, or will they hand the keys to the franchise over to J.J. McCarthy? Let's break down every possible scenario, from a massive contract extension to the possibility of bringing in a new quarterback through the draft. What we know so far: Sam Darnold thrived under Kevin O'Connell's leadership, guiding the team to a 14-3 record and showing flashes of being a reliable QB. But when the playoffs arrived, it was a different story. Inconsistent performances and an early elimination at the hands of the Rams raised concerns about his ability to perform in big games. Now, he's set to become a free agent and is reportedly seeking a 4-year, $160 million contract, a number that could seriously impact the team's financial flexibility. With limited draft picks, the Vikings must be strategic, as this decision could directly affect the team's future. The impact on free agency: if Darnold stays, the franchise will have little cap space left to strengthen other key positions. If he leaves, the Vikings could pursue a veteran replacement or put their faith in J.J. McCarthy, who has yet to play an NFL snap. What makes things even more complicated is the QB market. Teams like the Buccaneers and Raiders could be interested in Darnold, driving up his price. If the Vikings lose him, they might have to look at options like Kirk Cousins, who is also available, or explore trade possibilities for a high-impact QB. The franchise tag option: the Vikings could use the franchise tag, keeping Darnold for another year without a long-term commitment. This would cost around $35 to $40 million, further limiting the team's ability to add reinforcements. However, this short-term solution would maintain offensive stability, at least for now, buying time to reassess the long-term plan. The downside: Darnold might be unhappy with the tag and could demand a trade, something we've seen happen with other players in the past, creating more turmoil for the team. The J.J. McCarthy scenario: J.J. McCarthy was a first-round pick last year, but he missed the entire season due to injury, leaving questions about his development. If the team commits to him, they can free up cap space and accumulate draft picks to strengthen other areas. But there's a huge risk. He's still an unproven prospect, and the Vikings want to compete right now. What do you think? Should the Vikings take a gamble on a young talent despite the uncertainty, or stick with the relatively safe choice in Darnold? The possibility of a trade: if the Vikings want to commit to Darnold, they could trade McCarthy and secure a high draft pick. Teams like the Giants and Falcons might be interested in a young, promising QB, giving the Vikings valuable draft capital in return. This could help the Vikings upgrade their defense or offensive line, both of which need serious reinforcements. But it would be a bold move to give up on a young QB with potential, something that could haunt the franchise down the road. The market for Darnold: if the Vikings let Darnold test free agency, he could immediately attract interest from teams desperate for a starting quarterback. QB-needy teams like the Patriots, Steelers, or even the Falcons might make aggressive offers. However, the supply and demand of the market could cause his price to rise or fall, depending on other teams' moves. What we do know is that Darnold wants to stay in Minnesota, but financial complications could force his departure. The draft impact: if the Vikings move on from Darnold and trust McCarthy, they could use their limited draft picks to build a strong supporting cast around the young QB. If they trade McCarthy, they could secure a high pick and target a new quarterback like Caleb Williams or Drake May. Either way, this year's draft is crucial to the Vikings' future, and every pick needs to count. GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has a tough decision to make to ensure the Vikings stay competitive in both the short and long term. What does Kevin O'Connell want? O'Connell played a major role in revitalizing Darnold's career, helping him reach his full potential. He might push for the front office to keep Darnold and continue the offensive system he has built. However, if the front office prioritizes long-term success, they could develop McCarthy or draft another young QB. O'Connell's opinion will be critical, and he could be the deciding factor between betting on experience or embracing a new era at quarterback. The future of the Vikings: regardless of the decision on Darnold, the Vikings must strengthen the roster to remain competitive in the NFC. The receiving core is stacked with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, but the offensive line still needs improvements to provide better QB protection. The defense also requires upgrades, especially in the pass rush and secondary, areas that struggled against elite offenses last season. The future of the franchise is on the line, and every move this offseason will have a major impact on the coming years. So, Vikings fans, what would you do if you were in charge? Drop your opinions in the comments, and let's discuss this franchise-altering scenario. Skol Vikings!